Depression is a storm, a relentless cycle of overthinking, of imagined scenarios, of pressures we pile onto ourselves until they become suffocating. It builds and builds until you can physically feel the weight of it. No matter what you do, you can't escape it. It lingers, consuming your every thought. But here's the thing. You cannot play Sekiro and be depressed at the same time. Not because Sekiro is a cheerful game. Far from it. But because it demands something that depression cannot coexist with. Absolute focus. I call it the one mind. A state of singular, undivided attention. When I was at my lowest, when that dark cloud loomed over me, I started playing Sekiro. And in those moments, the game didn't comfort me. It didn't offer an escape. It kicked me while I was down. It beat me. Again and again. I got frustrated. I raged. But every time I lost, I knew it was because of my own mistakes. And so I tried again. And again. And again. Isshin Ashina. I kept losing to him for hours. But I kept coming back. We were both caught in that endless cycle of agony. And then it happened. That dark cloud in my head, it had nowhere to stay. My mind became empty. Empty as the cosmic void. And the only thing that had a place in my head was Genichiro's sword and my sword. No other thought existed. My mind was clean. I have never been of such one mind ever. It was almost as if I was a Buddhist monk meditating, focusing on a falling leaf. No other thought was there. And that feeling, that absolute clarity, it didn't just help me recover from those dark times. It saved me, because no other game can do that. No other game did for me, or could have done for me, what Sekiro did. For me, playing and learning Sekiro for the first time is no different than learning a martial art or practicing meditation. The means may be different, but they achieve the same mental state of calmness. That mental state, I call the one mind. Every time, whatever you are doing, you are at least doing two things at once. Right now, while writing this script, I am also subconsciously thinking of how I will edit the video with what limited gameplay I have. Or when I was playing the game for this script, I was also thinking of what I would write. But then, the game humbled me. I died a few times. And so, again, I had to achieve that state of focus to get the footage. And that state of one mind that I am talking about is most potent on the first playthrough, where you are actively fighting your own thoughts to focus on what's going on. Because if you mess up even once, if you don't play almost perfectly, all your struggle could be reset in a matter of seconds. And that requirement of perfection is one of the most potent reasons as to why Sekiro can lead you to that same state of calmness. As a monk meditating on a still pond, a single leaf floating before him, and he focuses on that leaf, and the pond disappears. Then the world disappears. Then the self and the observer disappear too. That barrier between self and object slowly fades, until the self becomes one with the object of focus. That kind of meditation is Sekiro's Genichiro is the teacher. Isshin Ashina is more than just a final boss. He is a force of nature, an insurmountable mountain standing in your path, a symbol of the impossible, of every challenge in life that seems too great to ever overcome. At first glance, defeating him feels like an unattainable dream, just like in real life. Some problems, some losses, some wounds seem eternal. They feel like they will never heal, like the pain will never fade. But then you fight him again, and slowly, something changes. The undefeatable armor of your struggles begins to show cracks. The patterns of his swordplay, the very thing that seemed like chaos, become familiar. What once seemed like an unstoppable force now has weaknesses, openings, opportunities. With each death, with each loss, you return stronger. Your hands become steadier, your mind sharper. And as long as you don't admit defeat, nothing can defeat you. You die and you come back. You suffer and you face it again. and again, and again, until one day you win, and suddenly, what once seemed impossible now feels inevitable. That moment of triumph, that final sword stroke, isn't just victory over Isshin Ashina. It's proof. Proof that nothing in life is truly insurmountable. That even the deepest pain, the worst failures, the heaviest burdens, can be overcome. And the most powerful lesson? You can never unlearn it. Once you've conquered something you once thought impossible, once you've faced despair and come out the other side, you carry that knowledge forever. You know how to live with pain. You know how to face struggle. And now, nothing can shake you the same way again. Isshin Ashina teaches this with every brutal, unrelenting strike. He carves one lesson into your mind. Hesitation is defeat. Hesitate for a moment, and you die. But that isn't just true in Sekiro. It's true in life. Overthinking, doubting yourself, freezing in fear. These are the real killers. The real things that hold you back. But if you trust yourself, if you commit, if you keep going, you will win. I know, it's just a game. But to be honest, it's not just a game. It's something much more than that. It's a way of thinking. A philosophy. The Guardian Ape is where Sekiro breaks you. Not just in skill, but in spirit. When I first fought it, I thought this is it. I had overcome so much, pushed through countless battles. But this was where my journey ended. It wasn't just the sheer brutality of the fight. It was the chaos, the unpredictability, the way the ape fought like something beyond human understanding. I had trained myself to read swords, to anticipate slashes, thrusts, feints, but this was raw, primal violence. There was no elegance, no rhythm, just unrelenting, savage force. And then I won. I did the impossible. I put the beast down. Relief washed over me. That was it. My greatest challenge yet. And then the impossible happened. The ape stood back up, sword lodged in its neck, blood pouring from a wound that should have been fatal. It stood back up, and in its hand, where there was once only instinct and rage, it now held something else. A blade. And in that moment, something inside me cracked. All the confidence I had built, all the progress I had made, erased. The game had given me a taste of victory, only to rip it away and show me how much further I still had to go. It was almost cruel, but that's when I realized this wasn't just a fight. This was life itself. Life doesn't care how much you've suffered. It doesn't care how far you've come. You might think you've endured enough, that you deserve a break, that you've finally won. But then, when you least expect it, life stands back up, and it comes at you with a sword. The Guardian Ape isn't just a boss. It's an allegory for the struggles that keep coming back, for the problems you thought you had buried, the demons you thought you had slain, the heartbreak, the failures, the losses. They don't stay dead just because you defeated them once. But here's the truth, neither do you. No matter how many times life knocks you down, you get back up. No matter how many times you think, this is the end, you keep going. Because as long as you stand, as long as you fight, you are never truly defeated. That's the lesson of the Guardian Ape. It shows you that struggle is endless, but so is your resilience. Hope you liked the video. Consider liking and subscribing. And until next time.